On today's video, David Bakhtiari basically begs Brett Veach to sign him to the Chiefs. The Chiefs may actually be crossing the yellow brick road to Kansas here pretty soon. And Matt Stafford's wife admits to being a hoe in college. What a day. Let's talk about it.
We're all chiefed up and we're back with another podcast for that ass. Make sure to hit that like button, get this out to more Chiefs fans. And like I always say, don't be a slap nut. Hit that subscribe button. Help us get to 30K. We're almost there, baby. Let's go.
We're almost there.
Mike, let's talk about this David Bakhtiari rumor. What's going on?
Let's do it. A to Z Sports says Kansas City Chiefs could be a potential landing spot for the former All-Pro free agent in 2024. There's some potential insurance for the Chiefs if they want it. Former All-Pro offensive tackle David Bakhtiari remains on the free agent market. Bakhtiari joined the Adam Schefter podcast on Wednesday and revealed that he is feeling good after offseason knee surgery and wants to play with the Super Bowl MVP. Steve, I've got a clip. Let's roll it.
Where could we go that would make that a possibility, David? That's practical. That's real. Are you at liberty to share some potential destinations that you're eyeing, or do you rather keep that quiet?
Well, no, I think, Adam, we have a good relationship. You know what I know already because of everything. So I don't want to spoil any of your surprises. I'll leave that to you. But when people do ask me, I do always tell them, like, where do you want to play? Where are you going to play next? I'm like, I want to play with the next Super Bowl MVP. So whoever the hell that's going to be, I better be with him. So when it's like, do you want to play with this player or that team? I'm like, I just want to be the next Super Bowl MVP. That's it.
He's talking about Patrick Mahomes. It's obvious he's talking about Patrick Mahomes.
He's begging for it.
Who doesn't want to play with the Chiefs at this point? The Chiefs are a dynasty. They're freaking awesome. They're even better this year. Patrick Mahomes is the best quarterback to ever play football. Obviously, that's who he wants to protect here.
100%. Look, Chiefs Kingdom, they're on board too. Arrowhead Pride come out and said more than 2,500 Chiefs fans weighed in on their poll. Would you like to see the Chiefs sign left tackle David Bakhtiari? 71% said yes, 29% said no, Steve. Couple things. Arrowhead Pride, step up your game. You guys can't be putting out stuff that makes people think we need David Bakhtiari in that much of a percentage. I feel like, do we need him? No. Would it be insurance? Possibly, but he's going to have to take a huge pay cut to come here. And to be honest, if these two don't work out, you still have Donovan Smith that I would much rather fall back on for the price.
Yeah, man, I'm not a fan of going and getting somebody right now. I think you let the young guys battle it out in camp and see who can start for this team, whether it be Wayne Morris because he has a little bit of a leg up on Kingsley Suamataia, who was drafted this year, because Wayne got to start a couple games last year when Donovan Smith was injured. But I want to see them two battle it out. I want to get our young guy in there, get him comfortable, and see if we have a future left tackle for this team that's going to be around for a while.
Bakhtiari was great when he was healthy, and he was healthy for a lot of good years. He had a knee surgery. They botched it. He says he's healthy now. We'll have to see, but look, there's a reason why nobody's picked this kid up already. So moving on. Leap of faith, Kansas lawmakers pass a plan to win the Chiefs Royals with bonds for stadiums. It goes on to say the Kansas legislature on Tuesday passed an aggressive plan to attract the KC Chiefs and Royals, triggering a process that could lead to the Senate issuing billions in bonds to build new stadiums, debt that will take decades of sales tax, sports betting, and lottery revenues to repay. You guys can pause it and go down through there. It talks about Laura Kelly expected to sign it. Quentin Lucas, the mayor of KC, actually come out and said, I see pure class on display, Steve. Talking about the state of Missouri is known for losing professional sports teams. And then, of course, this beautiful reply, if you're getting hurt over this, it's already over for Missouri. Blame Jackson County for turning down the same exact tax they've been paying so they could feel like they were sticking it to the rich, Steve. We've been saying this forever. This was not a new tax. This was the same thing you were been paying, and it averages out to like maybe $100 a year.
It's absolutely crazy. Missouri is known for losing sports teams. That's not a lie. That's not a reach. Right. They are. And guess what? You have a sports team now that's in the middle of a dynasty out there winning Super Bowls for you, and you're playing around. You're playing around with it, voting no. This is on you.
Stick it to the rich people.
This
Guess
is
what?
on
Rich
you,
people
baby.
don't lose. They will
Absolutely
up and move
not.
that bad boy. Steve Cam _NKC says, watching the Missouri folks lose their mind today after Kansas passed the star bond. Like, what did you think was going to happen if you voted no? He's right. All these people were talking about how they did something spectacular, and you're playing with fire.
I know I don't have a dog in the fight. I'm not from there. I don't live in Missouri. I don't live in Kansas. So it doesn't really matter that much to me outside of I just like the historic Arrowhead Stadium. I love everything about it. I love the Chiefs. But I have to agree with these people. You voted no. You're playing with it. Now you deal with the consequences. Hear ye! It's time for Beyond the Kingdom.
Beyond the Kingdom.
Hear ye!
Hear ye, hear ye. Steve, let's kick it off with a fun story today. Look, Matt Stafford's wife went on a podcast with Kaitlyn Bristowe, who, by the way, was the Bachelorette on ABC. And she's telling a story about Matt Stafford in college and the backup quarterback that she smashed a few times to make him jealous.
I dated the backup to piss him off, which worked.
Yes.
He was like
that'll do it.
He was the bad boy too. Like Matthew's so sweet and Southern gentleman and all that
Yeah.
stuff. And the backup was the complete opposite.
Yeah.
Ooh, and it upset him. So they lived in the same dorm because athletes lived in the same dorm, and he would see my car there. And so at one point he like waited and followed me out and got in my car and wouldn't get out.
Stop.
And he was
You're
like,
this is so hot.
I was like, this is amazing. It's working.
Yeah.
I was get out of my car and he was like, he's not right for you. And I was like, what? You can't tell me that.
What in the hell's going on around here? Women are
What
crazy.
is going on? Steve,
What are y'all doing?
She got right on TV or the podcast, wherever she was. They got a family with children. And Matt Stafford is an icon and a face of an NFL franchise. And she admits to taking Georgia's backup quarterback and cranking that hog, son. She was
God
cranking the hog
bless,
for him. Dude, look at this guy.
Oh
it looks
my
like
God.
Matthew Lillard from Scream if he was a ginger.
We got Opie back here. She's smashing Opie, bro. And then I would not tell anybody.
Look,
Like, what
if
is
you're
she
going to
doing?
bang Andy Dalton, keep it to yourself, bro.
Dude, first of all, you're manipulating people and you're just admitting it and talking about how cool it was. Second of all, look at this dude, bro. It looks like Powder. Do you remember the movie Powder?
I do. Two things. We know why Stetson Bennett decided to step away from the game when the Rams drafted him last year, because we all know Stafford, cornered this guy and was like, look, don't come in. My wife has a thing for backups. And that also explains why Jimmy G was so excited to sign with the Rams this offseason. Jimmy G's about to hit that.
Absolutely, bro. That's the only reason he signed.
No doubt about it. Moving on, the NFL says they're going to alter the IR rules, Steve. Teams now allowed to designate for return 2 additional players in the postseason, and that doesn't affect who you're allowed to designate and bring back in the regular season, Steve. Some NFL owners are discussing a potential separate salary cap for just quarterbacks because of how crazy the market has gotten. We've talked about how Patrick Mahomes, before his time's up in the NFL, could be touching $1 billion. Not on one single contract, but I mean total.
Yeah, well, it still doesn't make sense to me. This logic to me is the same as, well, let's make minimum wage everywhere $30 an hour. It's the same thing. Like, people are just going to want more of the cut that you have. So these players that are not quarterbacks are going to ask for more money, which in turn you end up in cap hell
You can't
regardless.
just let the quarterback make all the money and then everybody else is going to.
I mean, I don't think that's going to help.
No, that's going to be a disaster. Speaking of disasters, Schefter reports today Cleveland Browns defensive end Lonnie Phelps was charged with drunken driving on Wednesday night after police said he crashed his SUV into a Florida restaurant. This is the restaurant picture. That's his mugshot, Steve. You know what's crazy?
Rock Chalk Jayhawk, baby.
It was only 2 hours later, something like that. The Browns waived Lonnie Phelps. They're not messing around. We thought this was going to happen with Isaiah Buggs, but apparently everybody's on vacation in Kansas City and their phones don't work.
That's the craziest thing I've ever heard, by the way. We're all on vacation, so the team can burn the whole country down and we don't care. That's wild.
That's
but
insane
Here's
logic.
the thing. I get it. We know Lonnie Phelps did this. You can't hide that. So, I mean, maybe they're waiting to see what's going on with Bugs, but then again, I digress. I don't want to talk about it no more.
Dude, what a story. This is a better story here. We got Tamba Hali tweeting out today, help me raise proceeds in bringing flag football to Liberia. Thank you, guys. If you guys want to donate, we're going to throw the link down in the description, so go check that out, Steve. Tamba Hali's just a cool dude overall. I've seen him helping Joey Bosa on the field after he was drafted, when he still played with the Chiefs and when he was drafted to the Chargers. I've seen some good things out of Tamba. He helps all of our guys. George Karloftis, he's working with Felix this year. Tamba's just a good dude.
Tamba's a Chiefs icon, baby. You got to love him. I love that he's doing something great for people that need it, man. And speaking of Buffalo Bills, they decided not to help people in need, but to pander to the LGBTQ community and start a national gay flag football league. I think it was actually meant to just be a flag football league, but the Bills started it.
Yeah, for sure. Dude, I will tell you one thing. I'm super excited to see what kind of team names come out of this. Okay.
They're going to be good, dude.
Very excited. And it's good to know that Josh Allen is definitely going to be QB1 somewhere. So he's always got a fallback plan. And to be honest, I mean, come on. After the season's over, at least one team in Buffalo has a chance of winning a championship. So that's always good.
That's true. I do say good on the Bills, though, for actually representing their fan base. Here's one thing, though, Mike. I don't know. I feel like they might be trying to grab everything but the flag. So we'll have to wait and see how this turns out.
That time's yours.
Time's yours, Chiefs Kingdom. Steve, today we're just starting off hot. ZLLXTech79 says, I thought about just hitting the highlights and skipping your video for the most part, but I let it play. You guys are hilarious, and I'm glad I stayed till the end. You definitely earned another sub from me. You know what, Steve? I think a lot of people do that, and if you're one of the people that are doing that right now, don't do it. Just hit the sub button and enjoy the show. This is a fun show we have over here at All Chiefed Up, Steve.
Absolutely. I appreciate that, by the way. Thanks for the gas, baby.
He must have liked the Smash and Dash episode that we had last time. Our girl Brenda says, can't help but smile whenever I see or hear ACU and crew. You guys are awesome with news near and far. Keep up the great work. Thank you very much, Brenda.
Let's go.
For the gas. We love it. Tino Sill. I don't know how to pronounce it. Let's just hope I'm right. No knock on Isaiah Pacheco, but this offense needs another Kareem Hunt to look its best. Steve, I'm going to go ahead and bring this one up too because it goes right with it. Felton Henderson asked, Kansas City natives ready for the Legion of Zoom 2.0. What's the best lineup for the running backs after Pacheco? So it looks 2 running back questions here. This is going to be something to watch in camp. I think this is one of the hot topics to watch, and this is what a lot of Chiefs Kingdom want to know. Without McKinnon coming back, is Clyde Edwards-Helaire and Isaiah Pacheco enough?
Right. Well, going back to the first question or statement, I suppose, I kind of get the sentiment. I love Isaiah Pacheco. He's a hell of a football player. He's got a great attitude. He brings all the energy. He plays hard, dude. You gotta love him. But I do understand what she's saying as far as that goes, because Kareem Hunt was more of a well-rounded type back, like he was more of a receiving back. There was a lot of explosive plays with him. We've seen Pacheco chunk off a run here and there, but for the most part, that's not what you get from Pacheco. So I understand the sentiment, but I am perfectly fine with Isaiah Pacheco being our RB1. Now, after him, though, like the second comment was alluding to, it gets a little questionable. But I do think that Clyde Edwards-Helaire is going to take over that Jerick McKinnon role as being that third down change of pace back. That's also a great receiving back. That's what Clyde was drafted for, and we've never used him to do it. So now would be the perfect time. The other spots, I think it's going to be a toss-up. Unless they were to go outside and get someone cut during camp from another team, I think you're looking at probably Louis Reese-Zammit taking a spot, Deneric Prince, or maybe even Keontae Ingram. We'll just have to see.
Right. Keontae Ingram, he's got a little bit of that inside of him. Amani Bailey's another guy. I think that kid can flat out run. Now, look, his metrics and his RES score was nothing to write home about. But he's just a guy that produced. When he was on the field, he produced. He got first downs. He got touchdowns. And this dude could chunk off big plays. So I'm not going to overlook Amani Bailey. I'm also not going to overlook Crocky J back there because he's going to go into the running back room as well.
Right.
And so are they going to take the fullback this year? Are they not? Maybe they'll take the 3 tight ends. Maybe Irv Smith's on the out. If we see Jared Wiley, just destroy it in camp and you don't have to bring along an Irv Smith. I think it's very intriguing, but I do think the running back room is going to be something to watch definitely. And we appreciate the question for sure. J-Rock says, I still think we go 7 wide just in case of a random timed Rice suspension. So Rice, Hollywood, Worthy, Watson, Tony Ross, and Nico Remigio. Ross is 6'4", and we need his height with MVS gone. And respectfully, Nico is showing us what Sky Moore hasn't shown in 2 seasons. Hate to say it, but Sky and Miko don't make it, in my opinion. Steve, do you think Sky Moore and Mecole Hardman are not going to make this roster over Nico and Justin Ross?
If I was a betting man, I would go the exact opposite. I would pick Mecole and Sky over him. I do love Nico Remigio. To say that he's showing us what Sky Moore hasn't, I think is a stretch. We've never even seen Nico in an actual NFL game.
Right.
So we don't really know. Yeah, he looks good in camp, but I think that most of them do. Sky Moore was reported to look good in camp his rookie season. So, I mean, I don't know. It's going to be interesting. And as far as Justin Ross goes, I just don't know how much longer they want to experiment with this kid. They used him last year sparingly. He only had a snap here and there. They don't necessarily ever utilize big wide receivers properly in KC. They're more of the small, speedy guys, which shows
Right.
why they drafted Xavier Worthy and they signed Hollywood Brown. I don't know if there's a spot for Justin Ross here either. This, just like the running back room, it's going to be a fun one to watch at camp and see who earns it. Because that's the one thing I think they've done a good job of doing, Mike, is signing McCole back and adding guys like Nico and stuff like that. Sky Moore, Kadarius Toney, you ain't getting a free spot. Y'all got to earn it. So it's going to be fun to watch.
Look, I know a lot of people don't like Sky Moore. I get it. I still see something there. And so far, I think Andy and Brett Veach do too.
Yeah.
And again, we take a lot of crap for that. But look, Andy and Veach are the one keeping them on the teams. Me and you're not doing it. All we
Right.
say is, hey, he's still got a Chiefs uniform on. I'm not going to root for his downfall. The same with Kadarius Toney. I think it was a lot of the yips last year, and I think he should be able to come back and kick that this year in his contract year. Now, again, going with the size, Justin Ross is fine. But Patrick Mahomes don't like to throw a lot of those kinds of balls, and we don't run a lot of plays to those kind of guys. We don't
Right.
do that back shoulder fade end zone play or anything like that. When we do, we tend to use tight ends. We use Jody Fortson like that, and so I will bring up Jared Wiley yet again. Jared Wiley may be able to fill that sort of role, and personally, as much as I like Justin Ross and I wanted to see him get more snaps last year to see what he had, I think Justin Ross' time in Kansas City is probably on the outs, and I still don't know. I'm not convinced that we're taking 7 wide still. Our boy says, I enjoy these podcasts for my ass, says Jeremiah. That's
Yeah,
what's
let's go,
up.
baby.
Appreciate it. Thanks for the gas. Scott Crosser in the house. He says, Eagles working on covering those tight ends with that bump and run, baby. Hey, the
Love
bump and
it.
run, Steve. Going back to last episode, if you guys haven't watched last episode, you guys got to get back and watch Wednesday's episode. We broke down Terrell Lewis, I think was his name for the Eagles, Steve, with a prostitute in a hotel room, and he dines and dashes. So
Smashed and dashed, baby.
yeah, he did. Go back and watch that one. Last one of the day, Ethan Bennington. He says, I honestly want Nico to make the 53-man roster. Steve, Nico's hot around Chief Kingdom right now.
He's so hot right now.
He's so hot. It is still really early considering pads haven't come on, but so far he has kind of shown us during OTAs and mandatory camp that he deserves a role, whether it's offense, special teams, etc. Steve, I was a big Nico Remigio fan last year. I
Yeah.
said that I thought he had a chance to make the team. A lot of
Yep.
people said I was crazy. We went and watched him at camp. That was the time he hurt himself. We were there when that happened, and he had just made
He
a
was
hell
playing
of a
well,
catch,
too.
dude.
Yeah.
And look, he actually done well. You said he looked good in practice and stuff. He actually looked good in some preseason games last year as well. But I'll say this. Khalif Hallisey looked good in preseason games last year. Amir Smith-Marset looked good in some preseason games. Didn't pan out. So it's not always what you see is what you get. A lot of the time, Steve, we've said it over and over again. It seems like Andy and these coaches already know who they want and how they want it before they even go into these things.
Absolutely. It's all going to come down to what Andy thinks is best for the team. He knows what these guys can do. He knows more than we do. So we can speculate all we want, but just saying what we see in a practice, it's kind of silly to compare that to what Andy's actually seeing every second of every practice. So we'll see how it all pans out.
McCole Hardman, 3-time Super Bowl champion, announced his engagement to his longtime girlfriend, Shariah Gordon. I hope I pronounced that right.
Congratulations.
Congratulations, brother. Lastly, happy birthday, Lynn Dawson, Steve. Lynn Dawson would have been 89 years old yesterday.
A legend.
He's the face of the Chiefs, right? Patrick Mahomes now, but it was built on Lenny Dawson.
Absolutely. A freaking legend. Happy heavenly birthday, Lenny. Let's go.
Yeah. And that's going to wrap it up for today. Appreciate you guys watching. Thanks for subscribing, clicking that bell. We'll catch you next time. Go Chiefs.